Hello, my name is Maria de Souza. I'm the founder of Posture Queen. This is a place for you to come to learn all things good posture and movement for a life without pain. Today I have another Feldenkrais lesson for you from the series Feldenkrais Heals. And today's lesson is a follow-up of last lesson I've posted and is within the same theme but with different variations. So if you haven't watched my video called Introductory to the Feldenkrais Heals lessons, please have a look, because it's important that you know a few things before you start the lesson. If you have watched, then you are good to go, and let's start. So we start standing, and in standing just bring your awareness to your feet and notice how your feet contact the floor. Notice if you feel more pressure at the front of the feet or at the back or at the sides. In other words, where is the weight of your body on your feet? Is it nicely distributed or more to one side or the other or the front or the back? And try not to change anything, because it's important that you understand what your patterns are and get to know yourself a little bit more. So have a sense for that. And then notice your uprightness. How does it feel to stand, and how does your uprightness feel? And your head sitting on top of your torso. And then from here, just turn to one side very slowly and very gently, and notice how that turn feels for you. Is it easy? Is it comfortable? How far can you go with ease? And do that a couple of times to notice how far you can go without making any effort. And then go to the other side and do the same explorations. How easy it is. Is it smooth? Is it sticky? Is it easy? Not so. And also compare turning to the right and turning to the left. Is it the same, or one side feels easier than the other? Or one side goes farther away than the other? And you have to go really slowly to feel these things. And then keep mental notes of these things that you have discovered for yourself, because at the end we'll come back and see if anything feels different for you. And now we're going to get on with the lesson. So we're going to lie on the floor. And just take a moment to arrive on the floor, on your mat. And just notice, how does it feel to lie on the floor today? Is it comfortable? Is it not so comfortable? And if it isn't comfortable, where do you feel the discomfort? Then start noticing how your body is in contact with the floor. How much of yourself contacts the floor? And start from your heels. Notice the parts of the heels that touch the floor. Notice the calves and the thighs. Notice the space, that gap behind your heels. If there is a space and a gap, maybe there isn't. Notice your pelvis and the buttocks in contact with the floor. Notice if one side feels different to the other. Maybe one side feels more in contact with the floor than the other. In other words, one side may feel heavier or bigger or smaller. Just notice the differences between the right and the left of your pelvis. And then notice your back. Notice the right side and the left side. Is there a difference in the contact with the floor? Can you feel your shoulder blades? And if you can, does one shoulder blade feels different to the other in respect with the contact with the floor? Maybe one shoulder blade feels heavier or flatter. Is there a gap, a space in your lower back that doesn't touch the floor? If there is, have a sense for that space. How big or small that space feels for you. And then come to your shoulders. Notice if the shoulders feel equal or if you feel that one shoulder is more lift or more away from the floor than the other. And then sense your head, the back of your head on the floor. Notice how the head is in contact with the floor. Notice where the pressure is. There's a lot of noise going on in my stomach, so I apologize if you are hearing these noises from my stomach. There's not much I can do about it. Also notice your breath. Your breathing. Is your breathing easy, comfortable, slow, or is it hectic and shallow? Just notice how you're breathing. And notice where the movement of the breath is. Is it more on your belly or more on your chest? And notice the whole of yourself on the floor. Notice how you're feeling. Are you feeling calm or excited or nervous, anxious? Just notice. It's nothing for you to fix or to correct. It's just to sense and feel, understanding what is going on at this very moment. And then very slowly as you can make it, turn or roll your head to one side. Notice how that movement feels for you. Is it easy? Is it smooth? Is it sticky? How far can you go easily without forcing anything? And then come back to the center. Do that a couple of more times. Really have a sense for that movement in the neck. How does your neck feel today? And then go to the other side and compare. Does one side feels easier than the other? Or is it equal? And one of the signs when we start relaxing is the stomach starts making noises. So this is what's happening for me at the moment, because I'm letting go and relaxing. My stomach is making noises. And then keep a few mental notes of these things that you have found out for yourself, so that at the end we can come back and see if anything feels different for you. So from now you're going to bring your feet on the floor. And the way you do that is by bending the knee to the side, sliding the heel towards your buttocks, and then bringing the knee up, and then the other one. And just stay here for a moment to feel your feet on the floor. Also feel your back. Notice if it feels different from having the legs long. And then from here, you're going to bring your arms up and hug yourself. Cross the arms, rest the elbows on the chest, and the hands come towards the shoulder blades. And from here, keeping the pelvis and the legs quiet, you're going to roll the torso. If the hand is in the way, you just bring it more in, or maybe close it a little bit, so that when you roll, you don't go over your hand, which retreats the movements. And then coming back to the center, and then going to the other side. So one shoulder blade has to lift at a time for you to roll from side to side. And the head goes with the movement, only the torso moving, and the head, the pelvis and the legs stay still. And just go from side to side, and you can do that with the breath. Inhale in the center. Exhale, roll and roll and roll and roll. Inhale into the center. Exhale, roll and roll to the other side. And carry on this way. Just notice how this movement feels for you. Where do you find some resistance? And does it feel different to roll to one side and the other? Is one side easier to roll to than the other? Just notice those differences. Also notice how it feels in your neck. And only go as far as it is comfortable, so you're not forcing anything, you're just exploring the movement with ease and grace. The pelvis stay grounded. And then next time you come to the center, release your arms and bring your arms down just for a little rest. And sense yourself on the floor, your back, your shoulder blades. Notice your breath. And then you're going to bring your arms up again. And this time you're going to cross the other way. So the other elbow comes on top. Exactly the same organization, but opposite elbow on the top. And again, keep your... One thing that I forgot to say is the feet. Make sure that your feet are in a place that you feel supported, that you feel your legs are supported. So the feet and the knees are at least hip distance apart. But you might need a little bit more. It's up to you to find where the right place is. Certainly is not with the feet together and the knees together. So the feet and the knees need to be apart, but the distance is really up to you. And also the distance between your buttocks and your heels is also up to you. So you don't want it too far or too close. So find the middle place, the place where you feel supported. Okay, and from here again, roll from side to side. And also feel the pressure on your feet to help you with this movement. So although you're not consciously pressing the feet takes participation in this movement as well by pressing gently on the floor. Just notice that happening. And now you have a different elbow on the top. Does this movement feel different for you because of that? And again, moving with the breath, inhale into the center, exhaling, rolling, rolling, rolling to the side. So one shoulder blade lifts at a time to roll to one side, and then the other side. Okay, next time you come to the center, release your arms and bring them down and rest for a moment. Just sense yourself on the ground. And then you're going to cross again to bring down the elbow on top. And you're going to move exactly the same way, but this time you're going to move a little bit quicker. So from side to side. And you can go as quick as it is comfortable for you. Okay, and then bring this to a close and cross the other way, and the same thing. So this time you can't really combine the breath with the movement because you're moving a little bit quicker. But carry on breathing, breathing in and out, slow, long, deep breaths, without thinking too much about the breath, just rolling from side to side. Okay, and then bring this to a close, bring your arms up and then down. And you can lengthen your legs, bring one knee to the floor and slide the heel away, and then the other leg. And just rest on the floor for a moment and just sense yourself in contact with the floor. Notice if anything feels different already for you, especially in the area of your shoulders, your back, your pelvis. Notice your breathing. Okay, and then bring your feet on the floor. Make sure that you don't always bring the same leg up, but you change so that you don't do the same thing always in the same way. And from here, you're going to cross your legs. So cross your right leg over your left leg and bring the foot on the floor more towards the midline, to a place where you feel that your legs are supported. Again, find the right place for your foot. And from here you're going to start tilting to the right hand side. And again, you can do this with the breath. Inhale in the center. And as you exhale, tilt and tilt and tilt and tilt. And back to the center. And do that a few more times. Inhale in the center. Exhale and tilt and tilt and tilt. Only going as far as it is comfortable. Don't force anything. And then back. And if you're struggling to come back, that might mean that you're going too far. So go a little bit less, so that you don't struggle to come back. And just notice how that movement feels for you. How far can you go easily? Where do you find the resistance? Notice how this part of yourself feels, these muscles around your ribs on your left hand side. And notice the pull. So as you take the legs down, your legs pull your pelvis pulls your spine pulls your head. Don't force anything. So the aim is not to touch the floor with the legs, but only to come as far as it is comfortable for you. Make sure that you don't feel pain anywhere. If you feel pain, there's two things you can do. Go slower and more gently. And if it still hurts, you need to stop. That means that this movement isn't for you. There's hundreds of other movements that I'm bringing to you. So if this one hurts, or it's painful somewhere in your body, please don't do it. Okay, and next time you bring the legs to the middle. Just uncross the legs, bring the foot on the floor, and stay here with the feet on the floor a moment and rest. So notice your pelvis resting on the floor, notice the right and the left sides. And now we're going to cross the legs again, but cross the left leg over the right. And this time we're going to tilt to the left hand side, slowly and gently. Start tilting with the breath. Inhale in the middle and exhale to the side. And just notice how does it feel on this side. It's likely that it feels a little bit different. Maybe it's easier, maybe it's more difficult. Maybe you can go a little bit farther away, a little bit more farther away with the legs, maybe less. Just notice the differences. Notice how far you can go easily without forcing anything. Remember never to force, but to allow the movement to happen gradually, gently. Notice the movements in your torso, ribs, that's what your head is doing. Notice if the range of movement increases gradually. Notice those muscles on the right hand side around your ribs. Okay, and next time you come to the center, just uncross the legs and lengthen your legs one leg at a time. Just coming down for a little rest. Sense your pelvis, your back on the floor. My stomach is making noises, so if you're hearing it, I apologize. This is what happens when you relax. Your stomach starts making noises. Okay, and then bring your feet on the floor once again. And this time you're going to cross your legs again, the right over the left, and lift your arms and cross your arms, doesn't matter what elbow you have on top. And rest your elbows on your chest. And this time what you're going to do, you're going to move the torso and the legs at the same time. So as the legs go to the right hand side, the torso goes to the left. And back to the center, and do that a few times. Legs go to the right, torso goes to the left. And notice how the legs are able to go more farther away to the right than the torso to the left. Don't allow that to happen too much, so that you balance up the movements of the torso and the legs, so that the legs don't go much farther away than the torso can go. Inhale in the middle, exhale to come to the sides. You notice how this movement feels for you. Okay, next time you come to the middle and cross your arms and cross the arms the other way, and you're going to do the same thing. Legs to the right, the torso to the left. With the breath, inhale in the middle, exhale to go to the sides. Allow the head to go with the torso. Close your eyes if that feels good for you. And notice if you feel that, like I am feeling, that like the range of movement is increasing. Okay, and next time you come to the center, release your arms and release your legs and keep the feet on the floor. Stay for a moment, feel yourself on the floor. Notice your pelvis, your shoulder blades. And then cross the other way, the left over the right, foot on the floor in the middle, feel supported. And they're gonna cross the arms once again, and this time the legs are going to the left and the torso to the right. And coming back to the center, inhale in the center, exhale to go to the sides. And notice how does it feel on this side. I feel that my torso doesn't roll so much to the right as it did to the left. So what do you feel? Again, notice if your legs want to go much farther down, then your torso can roll, and see if you can bring a balance so that the legs don't go too much farther away than the torso can go. Only go as far as it is comfortable, don't force anything. And next time you come to the middle, release your arms and cross the other way. And do a few more. Legs to the left, torso to the right. Okay, and then release your arms and release your legs and lengthen your legs. And stay here for a moment. Really to rest, just sense how the contact of yourself on the floor feels like now. Do you feel that anything may have changed or something that may feel different for you? I feel that there is much less gap in my lower back, and that my back is a little bit flatter than it was at the very beginning. Just notice what's there for you. And then bring your feet on the floor. And when you bring the feet on the floor, notice if you always do it with the same leg, which is likely to be the case. And try to start with the other leg, so that you don't do always the same thing in the same way. And you cross the right leg over the left once again. Bring your arms up and cross your arms. And what we're going to do this time is that you're going to tilt the legs to the left and the torso to the right. So it's a little bit a different variation from what we did before. So legs to the right. No, sorry, legs to the left and torso to the right. With the breath, inhale in the center, torso to the right and legs to the left. So remember that before you had the leg on top, weighting down the leg below. But this time is not the case. This time we're going opposite direction. So the right leg is crossed over the left, and you're going to turn the legs to the left and the torso to the right. It's a little bit different from before. Notice how this movement feels for you. And then bring your arms up and cross the other way, and do this movement a few more times. Legs to the left, torso to the right, only going as far as it is comfortable. Okay, and next time you come to the center, just release your arms and release your legs. Keep the feet on the floor. Stay here just for a little rest. And then cross the left leg over the right. Bring your arms up and cross the arms, and this time you're going to take the legs to the left, to the right, sorry, the legs to the right and the torso to the left. Coming back to the center, inhale, exhale, legs to the right, torso to the left. And just notice if this side feels different for you. And then bring your arms up and cross the other way around, and do a few more movements like this. Turn legs to the right, torso to the left. Okay, and next time you come to the center, just release your arms down, release your legs, and lengthen your legs. Coming down for a little rest. Enjoy the quietness. Okay, and then bring your legs, your feet on the floor, knees up once again. And now we're gonna check in and see how things have improved for us. So bring your arms up and cross the arms, and then roll to one side and then to the other. And just notice how this movement feels for you. For me, it feels easier. My shoulder blades lift away from the floor a bit more than they did before. I feel more movement in my ribs. Okay, and then let go the arms and cross the other way. And just do a few more times. Just notice if it feels different. There's not a huge difference. Just because I've changed the elbows, but you might feel more difference than I do. Okay, and then release your arms down and let's check the legs. So cross the right leg over the left and slowly and gently just start tilting the legs to the right hand side. Just notice how that movement feels for you. And to the center, and do that a few times. I can feel that my legs go easier to the side and much farther away than they did before. What do you feel? I notice that there is more movement in my torso, whereas before I was kind of restricting movement here, and now it looks like it just flows. That the legs are pulling my pelvis, and the pelvis pulling the chest, the ribs, and it doesn't feel restricted. Let's see what's happening on the other side. So cross the left over the right. And again, tilt to the left hand side. Just notice what happens. And again, the movement feels easier. Okay, and then uncross the legs, lengthen your legs and rest on the floor. There's nothing else to do, that's the end of the lesson. So stay here for a moment, just notice how you feel lie on the floor now compared to the beginning of this lesson. And if you wasn't so comfortable at the very beginning, when you lie on the floor, how does it feel now? Do you remember where the discomfort was? Is it still there? And how much of yourself is in contact with the floor now? Do you feel that there is more of yourself in touch with the floor? Perhaps you feel flatter. How is that gap in your lower back? If there was a gap there, a space, how does it feel now? Is it still the same feeling, or is it less gap? How do you feel your shoulder blades in contact with the floor? Can you have a better sense for them? How's your breathing? Is it easier? And just enjoy a little bit of quietness and stillness. Okay, and from here you're going to stand up, but do that very slowly, very gently, because you've been lying on the floor for 40 minutes. And now you need to come up very slowly, very gently. So taking your time to come up. And once you come up on your feet, stay there for a moment. Feel your feet on the floor. And now bring back those mental memories that you made at the very beginning when you stood for the first time. And notice if anything feels different for you. So notice where the weight of your body is on your feet. Is it in the same places, or has it changed? And have a sense for your uprightness. How does it feel now? And then very slowly turn your head to one side. Notice if that feels different, and then to the other side, and then the whole of the torso. How does it feel now? Turn it to one side, and then turn it to the other side. Good, and then go for a little walk around and just notice how that feels walking around. Right, and this is the end of the lesson. Thank you very much for doing the lesson. Let me know how you get on with it. How did you get on with it? And if you have any questions, pop them below and I'll try to answer them. And I'll see you at the next lesson. Thank you. Bye bye now.